Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're a pair of normal investigators. I'm Matt.
And I'm Mark.
And we're here to talk to you today about a cryptid of unknown origin. It's infamous, yet seldom talked about, and its name is the Flatwoods Monster.
Or Braxton County Monster.
Matt, why don't you tell us what it is?
I don't know what it is, or was, but I'll tell you what I know. That on the night of September 12th, 1952, 3 boys, 2 of them brothers, were out playing when they saw a luminous object hurtle from the sky and crash to earth. Gathering 2 of the boys' mother, Kathleen May, they went in search of the crash site. Nearing the site, their dog, who had run away earlier, came scampering back, frightened, with its tail between its legs. Reaching a clearing, they saw, crashed into the earth, a pulsating red object, and experienced a mist, a noxious vapor that irritated their eyes and burned their throats. Nearby, to the side, one of the boys saw 2 luminous yellow objects, and shining his flashlight, he revealed a monster. An 8-foot, at least, tall monster, with a large, glowing red head, yellow eyes, a spade-like cowl, and sharp, clawed talons that chased them. The group ran in fear as the monster hissed, following them, and then it turned around and went back to whence it came. Miss May, returning home, called the local sheriff, who responded to the scene and noticed a metallic burning smell and saw a black, thick oil on the ground. And that's all anybody knows.
Is this creature just a bunch of hobos hanging out around a burning oil drum with a barn owl? Or is it something out of this world, an extraterrestrial? That's what we're here to find out. We'll either give you the truth,
or something close to it. We're going to travel tomorrow to Braxton County, West Virginia, to speak with some of the local authorities on the matter. And we'll see what we find. We'll let you know.
So stay tuned, fellow adventurers, because this pair of normal investigators is gonna find out.
Oh gosh! Torch it! Torch it, Mark! Okay, so for real though, like, hobos and trash cans and barn owls aside,
Yeah.
what do you think the Flatwoods Monster was? Like, what did Kathleen May and the boys see on September 12th?
You know, I think what Kathleen May and the boys saw, if it wasn't hobos in a burning oil in a trash can with barn owls, was quite possibly an extraterrestrial. I mean, it's a wide universe. There's no way, even if you're a religious sort, that God made all those stars and planets that we can observe with telescopes for just us alone.
No, I agree with you.
He in his infinite creationism, had to make more than us. So,
religious or not, there's a huge universe.
Yeah.
It would be hubris to think that we're the only ones in it.
I know, and that's what I was getting at, is like, religious or not, I think that there's extraterrestrials. It doesn't make me crazy.
No, we are, but...
yeah, I mean, we're investigating the paranormal.
The scaranormal.
Yeah, the scaranormal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I can't... The whole... telling pilots that they saw Venus instead of a UFO, or telling people they saw swamp gas or weather balloons. Like, people can be dumb, but most people aren't that dumb.
I mean,
this isn't the caveman times. You're not gonna mistake ball lightning for the face of God or something like that. If you put even a slightly educated person in front of a weather balloon, they're going to know, oh, it's metal, it's floating around, it looks like a balloon, it's a weather balloon.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I've built weather balloons.
Yeah, and
so.
somebody out in the swamps is going to know what igniting swamp gas is.
Yeah, there's usually a sound with that, and they are pretty obvious.
Yeah, and so...
You're a Cajun, you've seen it.
Right. And so you have these people in the woods of West Virginia. I'm sure they've seen a barn owl before.
Yeah. Like, there's no way 3 kids...
Oh, there were 5.
There were 5 children? I thought it was 2
3
kids.
saw it immediately, or saw the object fall, and then they picked up 2 more kids on the way to go look for it. So there were 6 people total saw this thing.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, 6 people saw it. You can't tell me that none of them knew what a barn owl was.
The story of the Braxton County Monster. When this story broke, it stretched the imagination of many people the world over. And the story has been told and retold in just about every country in the world.
Crossed the border into wild and weird as heck West Virginia, again on the search for the Flatwoods Monster, also known as the
Braxton County Monster.
And been a good drive so far.
A long drive.
Yeah.
A good drive.
And we're here to talk to you a little bit about some of the popular culture about the monster. It's appeared quite heavily in video games, surprisingly enough, although you may not see it anywhere else.
Legend of Zelda, Space Harrier, a couple more. It's pretty popular in Japan.
Yep, there was a video game from the SNES period known as Amagon, I believe, where it's one of the level bosses you fight. Again, as Matt mentioned, in Legend of Zelda, it appears also as an extraterrestrial from the moon known as them.
Just the imagination, is it a trick of misplaced light, or an interplanetary visitation? Was it massive stereo that felt the feeling of light across the hall of Flatwood's darkest night?
We arrived.
Where have we arrived?
I don't know, but we arrived.
Yes!
Well, we are here at the Braxton County Convention and Visitors Bureau. They've been nice enough to show us around, and we'll see some of their awesome memorabilia and a lot of their information about the Flatwoods Green Monster. And just a cool place, a lot of cool stuff to go through. Definitely, if you're in the area, check it out. And we're going to go through some of this information and see if we can get a little bit closer to solving the mystery, or we'll bring you the truth or
Something close to it.
exactly.
Hi, I'm Chance. I work at the Braxton County Visitor Center, and talking about the monster today. Back in that time, the American culture of just staying to themselves, keeping themselves warm. When the story came out, people weren't as open to talk about this kind of stuff, so it's very surprising.
GPS. Oh,
There it is. And we interviewed with one of the local workers at their visitation center. And we were pointed out here to come see the ever awesome and impossibly cool Welcome to Flatwoods, home of the Green Monster sign. Now, that's pretty cool. But we're actually on our way to go find out where the monster actually landed.
We're going to seem to
Oh, this is the one of the Braxton County Monster chairs, and Lord Matt.
I'm not gonna say it's wet.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Screw it.
He looks pretty doobly up there.
You want to sit?
Yeah. Now that it's dry.
I need one of these in my house.
Dude.
Or in the monster hunting center.
This will be in our monster hunting center. We'll get the guy who built this. I need my computer to just drop down in front of me right now. Edit the video for this video. Yeah.
That's a really cool local art thing.
The sports monster.
I mean, I understand it looks like the local team is the Eagles. I apologize to anybody from here if I'm wrong.
Falcons, maybe?
No, they look like Eagles.
Go Warbirds.
Warbirds. I like that. But really, like, to add my own input, should have just gone with the Green Monsters.
Yeah, hey, this is Mark Andrew. Pleasure to, I guess, meet you over the phone. And I wanted to have a brief account of the sighting from your perspective.
I appreciate you saying, from my perspective, but, it happened in 1952, so
Well,
the only thing I know is what I've read, and it's going to be about the same kind of a thing.
okay, well, I wasn't sure if you had your own spin on what it could have been.
I'm familiar with some of the, possible explanations and that sort of thing, being put forth by, skeptics who don't say that it was an alien. And those I've always found just as fascinating, just because, I kind of like knowing, it's almost like if you watch a suspense movie or something that leaves you with a cliffhanger, kind of not knowing what the actual truth is, makes it fun for me too. So, Joe Nichols' explanation, which is probably the most famous of the skeptics' explanation, it's not my personal one. Truthfully, I really don't have one because, I don't let anything get in the way of a good story. So if something's a good story, I like it. Whether it's completely real or whether it's something that, rampant imaginations help make more fantastic. But Joe Nichols' explanation is that what they saw was a great barn owl that they spooked and that flew toward them to fight the mom off, thinking there might be some kind of threat to its nest. Which made sense to me, especially after getting to talk to Joe, because the way he described it was, if you can imagine seeing things at dusk, everything kind of gets grayed out a little bit, and dimension starts to kind of get a little bit less defined, where he thought, what could account for the height, the speed, and what figure came after the people, and those sorts of things, is that if you've got an owl coming at you from up high, where that accounts for, say, like 12 feet high, and then below that figure of an owl, you would have this shape that comes below, that might be made up out of brush or that sort of thing. It might make the whole figure seem like it's that tall. So that was his explanation. You can find his articles that are about it, and I've always found his in particular fascinating because he takes such a scientific point of view. So even if he's dead wrong, I enjoy his story. It's interesting. Just like I enjoy the story of it being an alien. I mean, I love that too. That's great. But the only one that I think is really improbable is that it was a hoax, only because it would have to have coincided with some sort of either otherworldly or very worldly event which took place that was reported all over the East Coast, which was seeing this fireball in the sky. Now, whether it was a downed ship or whether it was a meteor, that happened. I mean, there's just absolutely no disputing of seeing that happen. So if somebody then is dressed up like an alien and scared a bunch of kids in the woods, they would have to have had it coincide with that, and that just seems virtually impossible to me. However, the illustration that I've seen of a kid in a costume is pretty humorous, so, there's a part of me.
So, we are standing very near the exact spot where the boys were playing football that evening when they saw a bright light streak overhead and land in that hill.
And after they saw it land over on that hill, the two boys went and got their mother and rounded up the rest of their friends, and they climbed over the ridge line, which is right up over here. it's private property, so we can't bring you up there currently. But right up over here is where the ship or whatever it was that crash landed first appeared here on Earth, and where the boys and their dog soon learned the terror that lurked in the night that evening.
But we are standing in the spot where history was made, and it's pretty interesting to put yourself in the shoes of some boys that were out playing one night and their lives changed forever.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, we hope that things like this will be better understood in the future, maybe by people with time machines, but here we are.
But even if we never understand them, things like this need to be preserved. This kind of history needs to be preserved. And small towns across the United States need to embrace this kind of stuff. Because everyone we've talked to here, they know about the monster. They think it's really cool.
They've grown up with it their whole lives.
I mean 67 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a neat thing. It's neat to see a community embrace this kind of a thing. And we hope others follow their example. But we were hungry. I mean, we left at 5 in the morning. So, we had heard about this place called The Spot, which is where we are now. A little burger and milkshake joint, pretty much in the center of Flatwoods. Pretty near the monster sighting. And in fact, there's a monster chair about 100 feet away, maybe less. But I'll tell you, if you're up here looking for the monster like we were, or for any reason, and you want a burger, some fries, stop into The Spot. It's great. You got little Flatwoods Monster cups. It's excellent. I highly recommend it. Mark is obviously enjoying his hamburger.
And the burger patties are thick and made amazingly well. I also definitely recommend
the cheese sticks.
The cheese sticks. Yeah.
Come up here, visit The Spot, grab a monster cup, and then just remember, monster hunting, cryptid hunting, and being in search of the paranormal in general
isn't all just fighting Mothman and eating hamburgers, Matt.
It's not. Gosh, I wish we had like Flatwoods and Mothman costumes, and we could reenact the scene from Blues Brothers.
Oh, jeez, that'd be hilarious.
It's 120 miles to Point Pleasant. We have half a tank of plutonium.
We have half a pack of Zibzorbs.
It's dark, and we're glowing luminous light.
We're glowing luminous light. We're on a mission from Xenu. Oh my God!
Help me! I'm done.
Oh,
Abduct me now.